What's up, fam? Extraordinary Life with Elijah. And my little girl, Azriela, gives me so many awesome insights into the heart and mind of our Father. Here the other day, we went in to use the bathroom, and Azzy's doing such a great job with all of her bathroom tasks. But she's still in a phase where she invites me in to help serve her when she's had a solid bowel movement. I love these times. I always ask God for grace to be able to engage the moments while they last. Someday, I won't get to serve my kids in that way. I cried the last time that Azriela wore a diaper. I remember I was changing her diaper and Charlotte came in and announced, this is the last diaper that Azriela will wear. And I cried. I didn't get to be there for the last diaper on Kailani. My wife actually changed Kailani's last diaper. But I always ask God for grace and insight to cherish those moments of serving my kids in those moments where they need me in that space to help serve them in an area that they don't have the ability to engage yet. But when we're in that space, we always talk. We celebrate that God has created our bodies so beautifully to digest food and to pull nutrients out of it in our intestinal tract. And then to, once it's done harvesting those nutrients, that it knows when to let it go. It doesn't hold on to it too long. It doesn't let go of it too fast, but just the right time, the body says, okay, we're done with that. Let's go of it. We put it in the pot and we flush it away. We thank Jesus for our poop, and we sing spontaneous worship songs to God and thank Him for the ability to poop. Here the other day, when I went in to wipe Azriela, she was holding onto my leg, and she just asked me, Dad, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad does my poop stink? Her questions sometimes catch me off guard, and sometimes I respond with my mind of flesh. This is a moment when the Spirit jumped in and helped me to have a very gentle, Spirit-filled response to my daughter. Spirit was right there and just said, chase this with her, see where it goes. So I said, I don't know, honey. Why do you ask? She said, well, Dad, sometimes you tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, my poop stinks this bad, and so I was just wondering, Dad, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad does my poop smell? By this time, she was off the pot and was pulling her pants back up, and she says the following, get down and smell my poop, Dad, and tell me how bad does it smell? Again, I almost tapped out on the fleshly reaction rather than a Spirit-filled response saying, no, I'm not getting down and smelling your poop. That's weird. But Spirit was right there and just kept nudging and saying, pursue it, see where it goes. So I engaged the adventure, got down on my hands and knees like a 5-star Michelin chef, got my hand, wafted the toilet, smelled, really considered and said, I'm gonna go with like a 5.5. Now we've talked about the stinky level before. If it's a 5, it's like, it's not offensive, non-offensive, it's just a solid 5. Under 5, it's like, I don't even hardly know that that's there. Above 5, it's like, we're starting to get into the stink factor. So when I told her that it was a solid 5.5, she knew what that meant. She shrugged her shoulders and said, I probably would have given it about a 6 or 7. It was pretty stinky, Dad. To which I responded, nah, it's not that bad. It does stink, Azriela, but just barely over a 5. It's okay. She ran out of the bathroom, threw a, I love you, Dad, thanks, and that was it. I'd answered her question. We're all good. As I flushed her poop down the toilet, that's when the Holy Spirit showed up. You see, we're training our children at an early age how to rule in life. Kids are only 25% of any current given culture, but they are 100% of the future. The spiritual exercise that I engage with my beautiful daughter, so gentle, so quiet, so regal, was as a king that I was able to sit with her and to engage a mess, to engage something that she needed help with, something that she was inviting me into vulnerably to address that she didn't have the ability to address herself. And she was asking me, how bad is it, Dad? On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad does it stink? And as her father, as being a royal king, that I was able to gently engage her mess and say, I don't know, honey, how bad is it? Let me find out. And get down on my knees, embrace it freely, really get in there, test the nuances, say, yeah, it is stinky, but it's just a 5.5. It's not as bad as you're thinking. It's bad. We need to deal with it. It's stinky, but it's not as bad as you thought. You see, it's in those moments that I get to train relationship with my daughter, that by the Spirit, the words that I'm speaking to you, my daughter, are spirit and life, that there's the conviction of the Spirit's gentleness and quietness in my life that is building an environment and an atmosphere in my bathroom that she gets to feel that her dad is kneeling on his toilet, smelling her poop in a toilet with gentleness, freedom, and abandon, such that when she comes to me later in life, says, Dad, I need your help. There's something that I have in my life that I'm not able to deal with and clean up on my own, and I don't know how to address it. Could you come serve me in vulnerability? And then she asks me, Dad, how bad is it? That there's trust, that there's a testimony of the Spirit built in her life that I can say, honey, yeah, that has the stench of death to it. That's not good. But in the midst of this situation, more clearly still, I smell the aroma of Christ. And even though you got a bad case of the death going on here, it's not that bad. Beyond the personal effect that this will have in my daughter's life that is helping me to be able to be a good father to her, it's also training into her the ability, likewise, that she's received father love in the mess of life, and that in having received it as an inheritance imparted to her from me, that she will be more empowered in life to engage the mess of those around her who ask her, could you smell my poop? Does my crap stink? Do we have a big mess on our hands? Like daddy daycare, where the kid comes out and's like, oops, I missed. What do you mean you missed? And then he looks through the door and he's like, oh. That my daughter will be trained to be able to engage other people's mess with more grace, with more insight, with more gentleness than me, and be able to truly engage it and say, it's bad, but it ain't that bad. Likewise for me personally, that I get to receive from my Father in heaven, the same ministry that when I ask him, how bad is it, that he gets down off of his glorious throne, approaches my porcelain throne, smells my mess and says, Elijah, that stinks like poop. It's not that bad. And then I get to tell him, Dad, I thought it was more like a 6 or 7, but if you say it's only a 5.5, thanks for answering my question. Love you, Dad. And I'm just back to plan. Wherever you're at in your life, if you're with your kids and you're having a hard time serving them in vulnerable things that create messes, and you're just tired of it, and you're just in the grind, and you're changing pea sheets again, I pray that God would impart grace to you to give you eyes in your process of serving your kids towards maturity. You would have joy in the process, and that the Spirit could come and speak to you there. If you're in the middle of a situation where you're dealing with other people's messes, that there's the stench of death in situations that you're dealing with in their lives, I pray that you would have grace imparted to you to be able to minister to them in their mess and to impart the confidence and the resurrection power of Christ to those situations. And if you're a child of God and you yourself are in a situation where you've got a mess on your hands that you can't deal with, and you're wondering, does the Father freely desire to engage my mess? My declaration to you is, our Father in heaven is way more gentle, way more ready to engage your mess with gentleness, with joy, and with great relish than I have with my daughter. Not only will he come to you, not only will he serve you in your mess. He cherishes it as a prized treasure, a memory and a celebration of the grace of his Son imparted towards you that he will cherish forever. If you subscribe to what I am doing, hit the button, hit it, and then get it. Hit the bell as well so you get notified with the new content. And if you loved this video, you didn't just like it, hit the thumbs down button. I pray blessings on your day. I love you guys lots, and I will see you in the next video.